Frank Zappa is alleged to have said that writing about music is like dancing about architecture. I suspect he was attempting to expose as ludicrous both ventures, the writing about music and the dancing about architecture. But to my mind, the relationship between them is loud and clear, and I looked for ways to combine all four. When I suggested I might just talk to my wife Sarah, she said that I should at least pretend to be reading. Then I wondered about the difference between talking and reading. I toyed for a while about begging you all to forgive me as I interspersed my reading with a little talking, but I decided that I would just pretend to read.
The neighbour's dog has visited in the dark hours of the night, following the bitch's pheromones from 5 miles away, over fences, through paddocks and across one dirt road. He thinks it's worth the long trip for a quickie.
Without wishing to seem boastful, I have met most of my many idols and probably most of yours. I've watched the FA Cup with Elvis Costello. I took Joe Cocker to the zoo one time. I took Sonic Youth record shopping. When I was 16, I interviewed Bob Marley. I've been kissed by Annie Lennox, Deborah Harry and Wendy James from Transvision Band. I mean, most people like music, but for most of them, the time it has its most impact is between the ages of about 12 and early 20s. It's one of the main ways we define ourselves as young people, that these years are also when you hit puberty. And you have massive growth spurts and raging hormones, and you fight with spots and blotches and smells and unwanted erections. Which is true for both the boys and the girls.
It's very unnerving to be here without an instrument to my behind, and I realise my jeans are possibly a little too tight. Thank you, Tegan, for that very generous introduction. I might also say that if there are any writers here at the Writer Centre who would like to rewrite my bio, which clearly I wrote when I was drunk, and post it on the Music Gazette website, I'm willing to commission anyone who wants to send me a lyrical scrabble. This is one of my favourite lyric writing techniques. So I got the snippet of the sound, a rough feel, got some chords, but the words just ain't flowing. So I get a big, blank piece of white paper, and I start scratching down the kind of words that the song's narrator would use. The adjectives, the nouns, constructions and phrases. The pretty, delicious words that can turn a song into something special and a little bit anti-pop. Words like snakebit, acrimony and apocalypse. The third technique I've come to rely on is called the method acting technique. So this is where, for example, when you're writing a song about vampires in love, that you dress as a vampire, keep their hours, think like them, dream like them, suckle your partner's neck when he comes home from work, until you've become the narrative voice and you have no other option than to sit your sweet ass down and write the goddamn song.
I wanted to go at as, I said, a hippie! So they put a wig on me, strung a set of mum's glass beads around my neck and stuck a cardboard sign in my hand that said, peace, with flowers drawn on it. When we paraded around the hall past the judges, I felt like I was in my first protest march. When the music came on, I danced so wildly in mock imitation of what I thought hippies did that I got so tangled up in the beads that the strings broke and slipped. I slipped on the glass beads and the fake pearls as they went scattering across the wooden floor in a hailstorm of colour and noise. Right from the start, I liked being a hippie.